Hello, welcome everybody to our weekly Zoom for TDA. I'm excited for tonight. We have Marcie Collett here, who is a long time friend of mine and a friend to TDA. We'll get into that in just a minute. I just want to remind people that we're having a equinox celebration out at the Dell this weekend. So if you are here in town or close somewhere locally and want to come hang out with us, you don't have to spend the night. You can come and spend a few hours and then head back. It's only about an hour from downtown Salt Lake, so not a horrible drive. Um, and we are seeing some different kinds of activities at the Sunday meetings. So make sure to um, be following along on we try to put a few things in the newsletter, but yeah, each of those are standalone meetings, and so they kind of make decisions for themselves and for the group. But it's some good things happening there. So we want to make sure people are participating in that. Next week, I'm very excited about this. We will be having Ro. Oh my gosh, I can never say her name right. She comes from uh, Portugal, and I always stumble on it, so I'm not even going to try. But she is the architect for the open air temple that we're going to be talking about um, at Equinox. And next week on this Zoom, she's going to be going through all of she and Steve will go through the inspiration behind the temple, the inspiration around the design work of it. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation. So we hope you join next week. So I have Marcie Collett here. She is a very dear friend. We met probably, I'm going to say 7 years ago, something like. And she does currently work at Salt Lake Film Society. And so she is my go-to for all things movies. And she's an expert on that, but she's talking to us today about another expertise that she has, which is tarot. She introduced me to tarot, and it has been an interesting experience for me to learn about it, get to know it, have it in my life. And so I thought this would be a fun conversation for us to have here. The other thing to know about Marcie is when we originally started TDA in 2020, she was a founding board member. And we're so grateful to Marcie because she just kept us in order. Things were happening really fast back then. Well, I guess they still are, but she just was very good about keeping us in order and making sure we were having meetings and being compliant. So TDA owes a great deal to Marcie, and I'm personally very, very grateful that she has always been such a good friend. So for those of you who have been here before, you know, to go ahead and while Marcie's talking, you can go ahead and put questions in the chat, or whether they pertain to her or you're just talking to the group, feel free to keep the chat going. It's always a little more interesting when that's happening. If you have questions specifically for Marcie, I will be watching the chat, and if I think they're appropriate for that moment, I might jump back on and ask the question if Marcie doesn't see it. The other thing you can do is put a question in the Q&A box there at the bottom of your screen, and we will hold those questions until the end of the meeting. And as she wraps up her formal remarks, then we'll move into some Q&A. And everything here is pretty informal, so it's not like it's not like you won't be able to get your question answered, and we can have some back and forth. So I'm really looking forward to this. And so I'm going to turn it over to Marcie. I turn off my screen and my microphone, but I'm here. So if anybody needs anything, I'm watching the chat and I'm watching the message, and I can jump on to deal with any problems. So with that said, Marcie, thank you for being here, and looking forward to what you have to say.
Well, thank you, my friend Sarah. I owe very much a lot to Divine Assembly. I had known you and Steve for a few years before COVID hit, but when it hit, I'm an extrovert, I'm a Leo, and so my cinema at the Broadway Center Cinemas in downtown. It's like my living room. I walk in and I'm like, hey, what movies you seeing? And when that shut down, I just was really cut off. And um, TDA and the Sacrament was really a rescue for me during COVID, during the inland hurricanes, during the earthquakes. Do you remember those?
Oh, that was a great
Yes.
year.
So, your friendship is really important, but also the work that Divine Assembly does has definitely been a rescue for me. Um, for as far as tarot goes, I have been reading tarot for about 30 years or so. And I'll tell you how I got started. I got started really informally. I had a friend who was doing readings. He was more of a medium. He was more like channeling his advisors and all of that. But he was kind of terrible at it. And like the friends would get together and we're like, okay, we got to give him some money to do readings because he's broke, and he was probably broke because he wasn't great. But he would tell me that I was going to meet a new boyfriend at the gym. And I'd be like, you know me. Why would you say I'm going to meet him at the gym when you know I never go to the gym? So what happened is a friend of mine bought me my own deck. And that is a bit of a common conception that you should not buy your own deck, that it should be gifted to you. So if you are interested in getting your own deck, I would suggest you go into the Golden Braid by Oasis downtown, or any kind of, funky place, and look at the deck and see which one calls to you, and call in a friend to give you the deck as a gift if you're interested in starting. And I just want to get out that I put in the chat that I think the best website for card meetings, individual card meetings, also learning and the different spreads, and also an occasional reading. If you want to get a virtual reading, Biddy Tarot, Biddy, tarot.com. Biddy is the site owner's name, and it's that's her nickname. Her name is really Bridget, and she's Australian, but she is just really eloquent and thorough and thoughtful into all the card meetings that she puts up. And I'll even still go back to her once in a while to to kind of double check what I'm thinking. To contact me, I have a website, alterslc.com. I established that after working with TDA to try to just put myself out there as a guide, mainly for tarot, but also for all kinds of things. And you can email me, Marcie at alterslc.com. I mean, altar with the double meaning, like like a sacred altar, but also the verb to change. So, yeah. Um, so when my friend gifted me the cards, I did a lot of things that I've been told you shouldn't do. I took them to noisy places. I took them to bars. I took them to cafes. I took them to Italy and Hawaii, which are the two places I was traveling a lot to. And wherever I was, if I pulled them out, it drew attention to people. So it just always was a way for me to connect with people. So I lived in Denver, Colorado. That's really where I'm from. I met my now husband. We had a long distance relationship. At that time, he lived in Provo. So when I finally married him in Provo, and then we finally moved to Salt Lake City, um, I was going to my neighborhood bars and my cafes, and I was like, this is how I'm gonna, find my tribe in Salt Lake City. And I did. Um, but so by that time, I had been doing tarot for like 10, 15 years. It came about gradually for me. So I was doing all these readings for myself, from others, but essentially I would draw a card, draw cards for people, and then look up the meaning, look up the book, the little notebook. I would get other books. Um, it was before I had mobile phone. It was not that long ago. I didn't quite have mobile phones to do all the things. So I really just absorbed my cards over time, and figured out what the cards meant to me, what every single card meant to me. And I had done a lot of reading and research, and I'd gone to a lot of, readers and all of that. But when I moved to Salt Lake City and was trying to get, to know a lot of people, by doing the same thing, taking my cards to all the places, um, I I was presenting myself as an amateur. And my husband was actually the one that said, you really do know what you're doing. You do get magic out of this experience. So he was the one that actually said, you should represent yourself as a tarot reader. So I began to do that. And I actually moved to Utah. Can you get this? September 2005. So 20 years ago, this month is when I moved to Utah. And that's when I started to call myself a real reader. So I've had 20 years since then of doing readings in Salt Lake City. So yeah, um, I love it. I don't consider myself a real medium. I don't consider that. I mean, I consider myself pretty spiritual and intuitive. And oh, I'm better in Utah, although I love my Colorado, but thank you for saying that. Um, and oh, especially lately with Sundance moving there. But no, I love being in Utah. Um, so I, it's I do find that the cards do talk to me though. I am a storyteller. I'm a Leo. That means I'm a big BSer. But I do kind of know how each card affects me. And if I share with you how the card affects me, then you're either going to take it as I say, or in the end, really, you're going to remember the card, and my words maybe just fade. And as with people that do readings with me pretty regularly, like Sarah, she's like, "Oh, that card again. Oh, this guy again." I'm like, "You want a different card? You got to ask a different question. This is the card that's giving to you about that." So I do believe in the magic there, but in the end, it is for my practice, it is a Rorschach test. What's most important is your reaction as you get out of that card when you see it, because as you see it, and as the more time you spend with that image, the more it's going to, layer in your mind. And the equivalent of TDA and our sacrament, it's the integration part of it. We can have a fun time and, connect and all of that. But really, if you take the image away and spend more time with it, then 36 hours, 80 hours later, that's when things pop. That's my friends who really take this seriously. They take pictures of the cards, take it home, and what they ruminate on is what means something to them. Okay. I want to go over what the structure of um the deck is. The deck is split up into a minor arcana and a major arcana. So there's two categories. The minor category is equivalent to a normal playing card deck. It's four suits, ace through 10. Aces are beginning, tens are completion, and then the court cards. It's the jack, the queen, the king. But really, it's knight, queen, king, and then they have another layer of the court cards the pages. So that's why there's 56 in the minor arcana card. And that represents the majority of the tarot cards. But what most people think of when they think of tarot cards, they think of the major arcana. That's the sun, the moon, the stars, death. But there's only 22 cards of those. So when you get the major arcana, that's when it's like, I like to say it's karma reaching out to you. It's the major arcana cards are going to be with you longer. They're going to have a bigger impact. It's not that they're better or worse. It's just that it's just talking about things that are you got to really have a big lesson from. The minor arcana for me is like things that are happening, things that are going to happen to you, with you, you're going to make happen. And then the major arcana are the effect of that. So I want to show you some of the major arcana cards. The first one is the Fool. Now, you might think, oh, I don't want to get the Fool. I don't want to be a fool. Um, but really, I love this card. And I've had to grow to love every card because every card wants to tell you something. But the first of the major arcana is 0. That's what the number is up here. And what the Fool is, they're an innocent. They're fresh. They're a blank slate, and they got a travel bag going and a stick, a little dog, and they are planning a big karmic trip, and they've saved up for it, and they are ready to go. And they're facing the sun with all this positive energy, and they're going to go on, and they're going to meet a bunch of people. Now, so the story can be that the Fool goes on to meet all of the other major arcana characters. And that's why the major arcana is also known as the Fool's Journey. So, in that way, the Fool is very dear because the journey is all about what the Fool goes through. So when you get the Fool, it's about, okay, you got a big, new, clean slate. What do you got to learn this time? Who do you want to meet? Where do you want to go? What do you want to feel, build, and all the things? That's the time to really build that. So that's the first of the major arcana. The second of the major arcana, so card 1, is actually my favorite card. My favorite card in the entire deck. If you go to my website, alterslc.com, you'll see this on the front page. It is the Magician. So the Magician has the 4 suits of the minor arcana, sorry, swords, wands, pentacles, and cups, all on their table. And he's got, I think it looks kind of like a dildo, but it's some kind of orb in his hand. And the magician is asking the Fool, what do you want? You've got all the tools on your table. You got to just choose. And sometimes that's what we get hung up with the most is in the choosing. We want perfection. We want the perfect mantra. We want the perfect goal and we spend our time ruminating on what that is when really the magician's like, it can be something light. It can be something dark. It could be something for yourself. It could be something generous. It could be something important. It can be something frivolous, whatever you want. But it's you're the magician, you choose, and you've got all the tools. So the worst thing you can do when you get the magician is not choose, is not decide. And that's why it's my favorite card. Okay. Um, The end of the major arcana is the world. So, what the world means, and it's 21, but it's actually the 22nd card because the Fool is the 0 card. So, what the world means is you've gone through, you've met when you get the world, it's like, oh, girl, you've done the work. You've met all the major creatures, you've learned all the lessons, you've executed everything. You are ready to master and go through this lovely portal Kind of looks like a vagina sometimes, but it's like a new rebirth. Oops, excuse me. It's that you're ready to go into the next big major karmic journey, and you're ready to be rebirthed as what? The fool, you know? We're always beginning and starting the new big journeys. So that's the major arcana card. Um, Again, if you do readings, you're going to see a lot more of the minor arcana. It won't be like, what you see on big shows and TVs where they're drawing all these drama cards. Okay, I want to show you the aces of the minor arcana. And again, these are equivalent to a normal playing card deck, but I'm showing you these so that you get familiar with the four suits. The Ace of Cups is like the Ace of Hearts. What's wonderful, all of the aces are positive. It's because it's like it's coming out of the clouds and offering it to you and saying, hey, you want to go on this journey? And it's a new journey of the different suit. And with cups, it's water and the heart, love, chi, partnerships, all of that. So that's a beautiful one. They're actually all beautiful when it comes to the cups. Um, the Pentacles. Yeah, that's the pretty card. That's the money, material, but career. But it's not just filthy lucre. I mean, Pentacles are about, it's the earth sign, grounded. It's about the resources we need to build the life we want. We need Pentacles to be generous, to be healthy, to build the kind of life we want. So that's Pentacles. And then swords. Swords are the suit of air. So it's the raison d'etre, the why of what we're doing. So they just add the meaning to our life. Air, the head stuff. Why are you doing it? And the wands. Wands are the fire sign. And it's things we do, things we make, how we interact with the world, how we represent ourselves to the world, things we feel, things we do, things we travel. So yeah, those are the aces. I want to show you the tens because when you do tarot, you start to come up with these stories. So like the major arcana, you're going to fill in, where what is being told to the fool. It's the fool's always you. Aces are about beginnings, tens are completion. Two of the tens are fabulous. Fairy tale happy endings. The Ace of Cups is like it's got a nuclear family or some kind of family. They're in dresses or whatnot, tights. So, but it's like nice love, happiness, completion. The Ten of Pentacles is one of my favorite. It's like it's got like a Tuscan tower in the background. There's a fabulous woman and a fabulous man or a fabulous uh, humans of any type, but they are getting married and their estates are coming together. So it's like the right people are coming together to create an even bigger estate, and there'll be nice wealth in the area. So that's what's fun about getting the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the other two tens of Pentacles are fairy tale nightmare ending. Look at that. Yeah, the Ten of Swords. Well, the Swords is about like it's utter done, utter completion. And there's a little bit of an element, this is the huge element of maybe being stabbed in the back. So maybe you didn't see it coming. Maybe there's a bit of a betrayal, but all of it's a point in the time where you got to give up all the purposes. You got to reshuffle and figure out which of the swords you really want to start on next because you're done. You got a nice clean wipe of the slate. Whether you completed the purpose or not, it's over, it's done. And the Ten of Wands is complete exhaustion. You planted too many wands, you planted too many plants, too many things. You're trying to get them all to market, and it's clear you're going to drop some. So These two cards are about quantity cards. You got to set some swords down, you got to set some wands down. Make sure that you really focus on the ones that you want to get done so that you can get those to market because otherwise things are going to drop. They're going to get stabbed in the back, and they may be the things you care most about. So you want to make sure you're choosing, prioritizing when you get cards like that. Okay, I wanted to show a couple of the pages because that's an extra layer that you may not be used to. All of the pages are fun. And what's fun about getting a page, it might seem like it's not as powerful as the king or queen or the knights, but what's fun about the pages is you're supposed to like try a lot of things. You're the intern, you're the apprentice. Like you're supposed to choose a lot of purposes with the swords, choose a lot of, opportunities with the pentacles and play and catch and release and like try this one, throw it away. It's actually great. I love getting pages now because it's like a little bit less responsibility. Now, two of the knights are fabulous and at a standstill. The Knight of Cups got the feathers and he's like, hey, hey, want some wine? And then the Knight of Pentacles is like, how are we going to invest this money? So they're like nice, solid in their place. The other two knights are at a gallop, like this Knight of Wands. He's at a gallop. He's going to go get some things done. He's going to get things, some execution, going to get it done. What's interesting about the knights is they're the executioner. They're the guys, they're going to get it done. They're the workhorses. But sometimes a knight can be still, and so they're about the planning and that sort of thing. And then other times they're on a gallop, and that's like you got to move, you got to go, you got to get things done. Okay. I wanted to point out a couple of the cards that people fear. But before I do that, I wanted to have a couple volunteers to do a couple virtual readings with me. And Sarah's going to demonstrate, when I get through these last few cards, Sarah's going to demonstrate what she's going to do. She's going to ask a question. She's going to give me a number, and I'm going to draw that card. And then I'm going to draw another card of what the cards want me to tell. And then that will be her reading. Normally my readings can take like an hour or more, and we do like 10 cards or more. But I'm hoping to do a couple of readings with you folks. So go ahead and volunteer in the chat room, and Sarah will make note of who you are so we can get your reading with you. Okay, here is a very feared card. Everyone says, I don't want to get this guy. Well, this guy is death. But what does he look like? He is actually a knight. He's the major arcana card. He's in the major arcana group, but he's really the knight. And what do the knights do? They execute, they get things done. So if you really want big change and a new kind of things just brought to you, you actually want death. You've got a couple of folks mourning here. There's somebody dead here. I always kind of think it's like Monty Python, bring out your dead, bring out your dead. You gotta bury the dead. You got to clean out the closets. You got to make, air out the corners. You got to make space for something new. But if what you really want is real big change, this is really the night of change. And what's happening in the background is sun and a castle and water to have things to bring in the new life. So, death is not to be feared anymore with the major arcana death card. It's actually one. All my cards are beloved now. They all want to tell you something, but death is really like, if you want the big change, this is the card for you. And he's really a knight, is what he is. Okay, another card people really fear is the devil. So the devil is there, and Adam and Eve are naked and they're chained. And there, you get a sense it's Adam and Eve after the fall. They now have, you know, knowledge and they have shame in their bodies and that. This is really the card of being weighed down. It's the card of hell, but it's being weighed down by perhaps addiction, debt, something shameful. The twin card of the devil, though, is the lovers. Do you see how they kind of parallel each other? Oops, it's trying to, yeah. So the lovers is actually paradise. Adam and Eve before the fall. They don't mind being naked. They're having a good time. There's abundance and love and fun and plenty of everything. So, what these cards, the main thing to tell you is that heaven and hell is a state of mind. You know, the devil's there, but the devil is there, and it's really Adam and Eve who are drumming up the shame in their life. Whereas, same with the lovers, they're drumming up the paradise in their own minds. So, when they get these cards, that's what I like to pull out the other one to show you it's different sides of the same coin. You can manifest it in your head either way. Okay, so those are two of the most feared cards, but also the two of the counterparts that, make them, great cards to get, actually. All right. Do we have any volunteers?
We do.
Other
We have
than
a couple of people who have volunteered.
Okay. So I'm going to mix up the deck and when I'm done mixing, Sarah will give me a number and then I'll pull that number of cards. And Sarah, do you want to tell me what you want or do you want to tell me afterwards? Maybe tell me afterwards. Should we do that?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
People like to test me. They're like, I'm going to keep my little secret safe. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm a Leo. My BS is better if you tell me, but that's okay. We'll try it this way with Sarah. I know Sarah pretty well, so I can probably.
Um, so you need
Okay,
a number from me.
a number.
Let's do 17.
Okay. So then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
17.
Ooh, Ace of Wands.
Okay.
So, like I said, aces are about beginnings. Wands is a suit of fire, action, things you build, things you make in life, how you represent, how you engage with the world. So it's a very action-filled card. When you get an ace, you want to be on the lookout that something's going to come your way. So you want to be particularly open to the universe and keep your, you know, possibilities up so that you can
Okay.
recognize it when it's handed to you. But it's going to be a new endeavor action opening up, and they're going to come to you, and you want to be open and ready for it to say yes.
Okay. So my question in my head was, I have so many projects. Which one should I focus on? And what I'm hearing you tell me is there's a not let some down, it's wait for a new one because another one's coming.
It's not necessarily for the new one. Look for the thing that is maybe it's coming to you. So it might be one of your existing projects, but
Okay.
it's the thing that wants to make it easier for you. It
Oh,
wants to
that's what I
come
need.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the aces bring energy, they bring possibilities. So even if so you could be manifesting and think about, okay, this is the one project that I need the most help on. I want
That's where I want that to come in.
I want it to come
Okay.
through out of there. So you can manifest for that. But on the other hand, you never know. Like it could be, oh, Project C is coming forward and doing that. You want to still take advantage of the universe bringing you that because the universe is probably saying you can't get Project A done until you may not want to face Project C, but if
But that's
something's
where
coming
they,
through
yeah,
to make your life easier, go ahead and take care of that so that you
absolutely.
have more energy for the other things that might be more a bit difficult.
Okay. Awesome.
Aces are always great. You want
That's
to say thank you more, please, for that.
thank you more. Thank you more, please.
So, I will draw another card, and what I'm asking is, what do the cards want me to tell Sarah about all of that? So that way, I like doing this because Sarah has driven one, but then I'm going to have my own little extra thing on it.
So Steve, Dula, Steve, and Angie, go ahead and get your numbers ready because we'll have you drop those in the chat when it's your turn. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I've never drawn that card.
you never have. I know. Well, I gassed up this card
Yeah, you
earlier.
did.
Um, it is, so I know you have a lot of things going on. I think you might want to prioritize some and you
Let's
know,
go.
clean up the corners and everything. Maybe uh some of the things that are more difficult, maybe let them die.
Okay.
Let them wither on the vine, but then
Fascinating.
prune the vine and
Okay.
do that. Because it is about big change and it is a card that brings a lot of energy as well. All the knights, are
Yeah.
executioners, they're actors, they're um, activators. They can really make things happen. So you want to make best use of this new energy, but the cost of that is not getting mucked up
Yeah.
by uh, by some of the things that maybe are not actually your priority.
Okay.
So, along with the ace about this new energy coming, the cards also want to tell me, but you got to get rid of some of the things that you might think that you have to like clean them up and get them done, it may be just like, nope, throw them out. Just throw them out. Don't recycle. Just get rid of them.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Let's do Angie first. Angie,
Okay.
you want to put a number in the chat? Let's see. Maybe she stepped away. Oh, there you go. 7.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, see, this is the card. Sarah always wants her pentacles, and she gets mad when she sees other people get pentacles. So you got, man, like I really got the aces going tonight. Um, Again, it's going to be money, material, career. It's going to come out of the clouds, handing you going, hey, how about this? It could be new, it could be existing, but it's something of real value handed to you. It is an earth sign, so it's something solid, going to produce something along that. But again, you want to really be open to it. You don't want to be down and negative because if you got, if you're wrapped up in scarcity or negativity, you may not see the email or you skip the phone or you don't look a person in the eye, and then you aren't ready to receive it. But again, there's a lot of energy. Yeah, right. Oh, it's great. Aces are lovely. They're just coming out and they want to give it to you. The worst thing you can do is not harness that energy, the resources that it's offering you. So yeah. Okay, Pentacles, it's always good to get Pentacles. All right, I'm going to draw another one, Angie, that it's like, what do the cards want me to say on top of that? Oh, Man, you
Wow.
see me shuffling, right? Like I'm not just drawing, I really shuffled my cards. But see, this is where the magic comes in. I was really gassing up the death card and the aces, and now the cards are like, yeah, we mean it. Um, so the Ace of Cups, it's the Ace of Hearts. So also something coming at you. It could be romantic. It could be new romantic. It could be the same romantic. It could be friendship. It could be partnership. It could be that the pentacle that's coming through really connects with your heart as well. But what I'd say is, as you probably already have in mind what that pinnacle is going to be. Is it going to be a job related? Is it going to be, some little boon that lands in your lap or something? Is uh, something in your house is going to cost less or, something than you were thinking? You want to engage your heart. That will be the amplifier, is if you love it, if you're glad for it. That will really amplify what the Pentacles is all about. So, yeah. A double ace. That's really great.
Yeah,
Good for
really
you.
good cards.
Yeah, good.
Um,
My pleasure.
so if you have anything else to say, keep going. Dula Steve, if you want to put a number in the chat, we'll do yours next.
Ooh, 33.
33.
Okay. One, two, three. I think I gotta hold them up so you know that I'm really doing it. Four, five, six,
We're seeing all the
seven,
cards he's not getting.
8. Yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32,
There it is.
33. Ah, Six of Pentacles. Okay, more pentacles. The six is about balancing. It's kind of a charity card. Somebody who has the pentacles is managing them, and they have to weigh them out and decide who gets what. So you can identify with either the guy having to disperse it or the people who are asking for it. But either way, it can be challenging. And what I like to say about this is try to be Marxist about it. Try to give everyone or ask for what everyone needs, but also require from everybody what they can give. And the two people may not get the same amount. What's what I like to interpret when I see scales in the tarot, it is about balance, but it's not necessarily about the scales being still or perfectly equal. It's balanced, but that doesn't mean it's equal. And so, whether it's you having to be the asker or you having to be the decider and how to give it out, go instead from a marker that makes sense to you. What is the best and most reasonable? And don't feel necessarily that it has to be even or even understood completely by the people who are receiving.
It's lovely. And
Okay.
his comment, he says that's specific and appropriate.
Okay, good. So let me draw another to try and build upon that. See, this is where the magic happens. This is the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like you drew the Six of Diamonds with your number, and I drew the Seven of Diamonds. So, you drew a number, and then it's like this other thing comes up. It's like it's really meant to happen. So with the cards, when I see that kind of magic, ooh, it's like the cards are really telling you seriously. That's the message. What's nice about this card is the person has you've really invested and nurtured some pentacles. You've maybe had things in savings, you've done an investment, and you're really worried or you really worked hard on a project and you're kind of fretting about it. The person is looking over the pentacles and going, "Oh, I don't know. Is it going to come out? Is it going to come out?" And the answer is absolutely yes. It's going to work out. It's going to yield like you want. And you know why it is because the pentacles look really healthy in this plant. They're thriving, you know? So it's because you did the work to nurture them, to cultivate them, to prune them, to water and feed them. They're going to work out. So it makes sense to me that in the prior, you're like, how do I balance out these, whether it's that, you need something else to come through, or, you need to manage your expenses going out. It's because you're waiting on this to pay off. But I will tell you, it's going to pay off because you really did some work to nurture this plant and it's flourishing, even though you're worrying. So you want to spend more time recognizing that it's flourishing and less time worrying about it so that you put that positive energy in there. So again, folks, I want to remind you that you can look up the aces. If you, Angie got the aces, you can look them up on biddytarot.com. She has the best uh, card meetings about that. And for Dula Steve, the Six of Pentacles and Six and Seven of Pentacles, that would be your card if you want to look up online.
Awesome. Any sh-
Oh, I think it's fine if you bought your own deck. Have you used it? If you've used it a lot, if you've already bonded with it, it's an old wives' tale. It's something I do. It's something I read. Somebody told me. I know some other readers believe that is also, but it's fine. If should you get another deck, or maybe what you can do is gift another person a deck so that there's sort of this yin yang kind of energy out in the world.
Love that. Any other questions for Marcie? This has been a really fun conversation, and fun to see it kind of in action. Yeah, the first time Marcie did this for me, she did it a whole hour-long reading. And then Steve came home in the middle of it. He watched, and then I watched his whole hour-long reading. And then another friend showed up, and the third hour-long reading. That was a wild night. It was kind of baptism by fire. And it was just so interesting watching every person, pick their intention for what the reading was going to be and then walk through it. Like Steve kept trying to interpret my reading, and I was like, no, you're wrong. You're making it a personal thing, and this is about my career and business. And that just was an interesting thing because I'm usually pretty open to ideas, especially when they come from Steve. We're just such good partners. But I just was flat out, no, that is not what that card means. That is not what we're talking about right now. And that was interesting. It just became a framework to maybe think about things a little differently. So I've really enjoyed that experience and that process, with readings. And Marcie's cute. She'll call me every so often and say, "Hey, I've got my cards right here. Can I pull a card for you?" So we have a little taste of it, throughout the year. So, well, Marcie, thank you, for being here today. Thank you for sharing your talents and your expertise. I dropped Marcie's information here, so if anybody wants to try and reach her outside of this meeting, please do so. Thank you for being here, and I hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you next week so we can talk about the temple. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.